what else is exciting you in Tesla land?
For me, it's the Cybertruck. I just can't wait for that delivery date to be announced. I think we're very close. We're very, very close. I have this date out there of September 28th, I think I said, for it to be the delivery event. So we're sort of reaching that land where if there is no announcement in the next couple of weeks, I'm probably early, which par for the course for me, but that's okay. And so that's what I'm very excited about. For me, it's more about tracking the overall EV market and then seeing how the other players have been sizing up to Tesla. Because one of the things that I think a lot of us have been thinking about is as EVs grow, you need to have other players sell more cars into the market. But I'm sort of seeing a little bit of the opposite effect where Mustang Mach-E inventories are bloated. Ford Lightning inventories seem to be bloated, but that one's tough to track because it's such low volume coming out of Ford's factories, but they're still building them. GM's EV strategy is weird. I don't understand it at all, especially with the release of the Blazer EV. It being $10,000 more expensive than the Model Y. I don't understand that at all.
Well, they just have to price it at that, right? Like
they have to.
That's just they have to. So
yeah, but you would think that the thing I keep hearing about GM is like, well, they have all this cash and they have all this ability to, yeah, that's a good point. Generate cash flow. So why can't you just make an affordable EV then, right? I mean, it's like
because
conceptually. Well, yeah.
Because they suck. Like I think we know the
Yash,
answer.
I'm trying to be nice. Come on.
I am too, but I'm just saying, like, they can't build this thing because they've spent so long. Anyways, I guess I'm preaching to the choir, but like they have to price it at a point where they're going to make something because that's the only way that they're going to fund this business.
I disagree. So I don't think they're pricing it in a way that they can make something, because even at those levels, they're not going to make anything. I think what they're doing is that it's facts, because they're not going to have the volume to sell a Blazer EV for $56,000. Who's going to pay $56,000 to get a Blazer? Okay, that's all you.
I will
enjoy it.
I will, and then I will return it just so I could say I bought it for you.
Okay, perfect. That's how much you hate me. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But I think what GM is doing is they're trying to pivot their brand to be more luxury oriented in the EV space than affordable. Because 2 out of the 4 new EVs that they released are, call it super premium. The Hummer EV and this crazy looking thing, which is the Cadillac Celestiq, or however you want to pronounce it. And then you also have the Lyriq as well, which is a Cadillac line, which is geared towards a luxury vehicle. So they're following this Tesla blueprint of starting at the top and then making your way down. And what's interesting there is we've been told many times that legacy automakers wouldn't have to do that because they have the scale to just wipe the floor with a company like a Tesla, because they have the scale to just come out with an affordable EV right away because they have all the factories in the supply chain. Okay, why aren't they doing that? It's because, to your point, they can't. They physically can't. So they have to pivot to be luxury. But the question becomes, does GM have the brand equity? This is something that I've been hearing a lot. The brand equity to be able to command that. Oh, I got my own soundboard. No. That's great. I heard myself through my ears. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Oh, my bad. Does GM does not have the brand loyalty. Ford, I would argue, probably has a little bit more brand loyalty. I do know people, older people, mind you, that are like, it's Ford or bust for me. I'm buying a Ford. I don't care what it is. Equinox is the other model. So
the cheaper one, supposedly.
But here's the thing, though, is because look, and there's no doubt these legacy automakers are screwed. I think everyone and their mom knows that. Everyone definitely in this chat knows that. The moving of the goalpost is what I'm watching for. Like, this is what I'm actually scared of. When you talk about EV landscape, yes, I think Tesla will continue to push forward. But I think a lot of these mandates, the 2035, 100% EV or bust new car strategy that a lot of governments are adopting, I think we're going to get to a point where 2030, it's still 2031, and we'll notice that these legacy automakers are nowhere close to even hitting scale with their EVs. Then what's going to happen is, I think a lot of these governments, and this is what I'm watching for, and I hope it doesn't happen, I think a lot of these legacy automakers will actually begin to start crying about this. And I think when they start crying about this, I think it's going to be a point where I think governments are going to start to actually change their tune on this. I think they're going to start to push out. I think this might become a joke where they continue to push this date out. And That's what I'm hoping doesn't happen with where we're sitting at. So that's why I actually kind of sort of agree with you about Ford sussing it out, siloing out their business in preparation for this, because if they can at least raise money on that back and then pivot their business soon enough, great. But yeah, I the moving of the goalposts, and for example, like Toyota. Look, I loved Toyota. I'm a huge Toyota stan, or have been. But corporately now, they're just a huge sham. They're a complete sham. What essentially they've tried to take this battery electric vehicle term, swap it out for electrification, which is just a buzzword in disguise for hybrids, which are just throwing a small battery pack in your gas car that they make so all of their gas oil change all their gas engine service money from oil changes, timing belts, everything, you name it, but they just put this little battery in to appease you. And they're attempting to disguise this for the average person out there. And I know this is working because I talk to people that literally say, look, I'd rather have a hybrid because just in case I need it on a road trip, I have gas in my car. It's like, look, if you do the math, you want to ditch the maintenance of your gas car. That's why hybrids are a sham, is because you want to ditch, and I should actually do a whole video about the economics of this, because the whole point of going electric minus the gas savings is that you're ditching the maintenance cost. Right? That random weekend, you just take your Toyota RAV4 into the dealership and you're like, man, I got $1,500 worth of maintenance to do here on seemingly nothing. And that happens often. Like if anyone in the chat here has gas cars, all the time. Like you just go in for an oil change. Oh, guess what? You have $700 worth of stuff to do. And with inflation today, it's absolutely nuts. So this moving of the goalposts is really what I'm worried about, I'd say, in the next 5 or 10 years.
It will happen. And it's unfortunate, but it will happen. I mean, we're already seeing, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but, and this is just part of a program, but the government gave Ford a, $9.8 billion Department of Energy loan to build out car factories, right? So it's not like, this is not really a move in the goalpost, but it's government help to try and help these long-standing companies to transition into the next generation of vehicles. And then, people will say, well, it's smart for them to take that loan because it's probably low interest and it's probably going to be favorable terms because it's from the government and it's made to stimulate the economy and to help companies sort of transition. Great, that's fine. Yeah. But why does Ford need to take a loan to build an electric vehicle factory? It's same with
GM. GM got their huge Department of Energy loan for I think like $3 or $4 billion to build out the Altium factory as well, right? Nikola Tinelli actually throws in the chat. Nikola got a $60.3 million grant from California to build up 3 hydrogen stations.
Yeah.
Like, folks, what is going on? Like this fraud company essentially, right? And the people that work there probably aren't fraud today, but let's face it, like not much going on there. They're just handing
which GM
free
invested
money for
in.
everyone. GM invested in. I remember that. Trevor Milton was the face with Mary Barra. By the way, Twitter sucks with Trevor Milton not on it anymore. I have to say that 2.5 months where Trevor Milton was on Twitter talking smack to everyone. Anyways, those were the good old days. But yeah, like they're throwing around money like it's nothing. And this is all taxpayer money. I'm not American, so I can't speak for my money. But it's still frustrating to see the amount of wastage. And then when it doesn't work out, they're just going to point at the industry and say, look, this industry is still unproven. We don't know if it's going to work out. Hydrogen still might work. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, but here's the silver lining to this, is that in this world, and this is where I'll give the current administration a lot of props. In my opinion, I do think something like the IRA has been very beneficial for the states to start positioning itself for the next generation of energy and transportation by trying to incentivize people to build in America. And from that standpoint, I think it's great. So Tesla's going to get a giant benefit from the IRA because they're building batteries and cars right here in the States. And so if there are other things, either through the DOE or whoever else, that are going to misappropriate taxpayer funds because they're investing in companies that are just not going to make a good return on investment on that, okay, I'm willing to swallow that pill because at least I know Tesla is winning huge from this. And I know they're going to get it done. So I think it's just... And unfortunately, I'm of the opinion that government just can't do this perfect. It will do this significantly less than perfect, but that's okay. At least the right parties are getting the funding in a way, and then the parties that shouldn't be getting it are also benefiting from that. But that's you need some sort of a playing field that maximizes the chances. And who knows, maybe Nikola is the greatest underdog story of all time, and they come back from this better than ever. I doubt it, but who knows? I mean. I like this. I like this new soundboard thing. It's great.
Not gonna happen. By the way, someone's got a clip Farzad just saying, "Hey, maybe Nicola's the new hottest thing since sliced bread."